Now that you've completed your first paper for the quarter, I thought it would be helpful if I give you some general comments as a class to see what you can improve on for paper number 2. So the first thing that I wanted to mention is that you really need to pay more attention to the prompt and the video that comes with the prompt, and to make sure that your paper meets all of the minimum standards that's outlined in the prompt. For example, I believe that the prompt was very clear in what this essay needed to focus on and what you needed to do, and yet a number of you did not do that. So if something in the prompt is confusing or unclear, never hesitate to ask, because it's always better to ask, even if you think it's a silly question, than to have your grade affected, or your, I know you're not getting a grade right now, but it's better just to do it right the first time, and then it's less work trying to revise it for the portfolio. Okay, so like for example, the prompt said, just summarize, and yet many of you responded and did all sorts of things in your paper, and that was not the point. The point was simply just to summarize the article. Okay. Make sure that you review the MLA video. Some of you had perfect works cited entries and formatting, but most of you didn't. So if your page numbers are off and you don't know how to fix that, go back to that video. It's in the MLA folder within week 1, so it's 2 folders in. But make sure you review that video. There's no reason that your MLA shouldn't be perfect, because I show you exactly how to do that. And a number of you had incorrect works cited information about the textbook. And again, I gave you the answer in that video if you would just watch it and apply it. Okay? That's why I do things like that, to help you. So if you have anything wrong with your MLA, please go back to that. Your MLA should be perfect. There's no reason it can't be. Okay, too many errors are being made, and there's no reason for it. I cannot reiterate enough throughout this quarter. You should already know by now that I don't want you narrating in your essays. I put that in the prompt. I put it in the response sheet. We've read about it in the textbook. You should not be narrating, and you shouldn't be using the word you. Okay? These are just bad habits. Bad habits that have been either encouraged or allowed to happen for years and years and years, and it's time to stop those habits now. Get out of them. I want you to stop narrating, stop using we and us and you, all of it. Just stop it. I'm asking you to write at a higher level, and yes, it's going to be difficult. It's a little harder, and that's why I want you to do it. I don't want you to be lazy. I don't want you to fall back on the same skills that you've been using for years. I want you to step up your game, improve your writing. Don't do the same old stuff that you've done up until now. Stop narrating, stop using you, and your writing will improve. Again, going back to what I was saying about the prompt, all you needed to do in this paper was summarize. You're not supposed to be responding. If I ever see the word I in your paper, I know that you're not summarizing. You're not supposed to be in your paper at all. You're simply saying, Peck said this, he then said this, he then said this. In conclusion, his main point was this. There is absolutely no reason that you should be using I in your paper. You should not be putting in your opinion. You should not be responding. You should not be evaluating. That's in the prompt. You're only supposed to be summarizing. As the video stated, this is a stepping stone to analysis. You need to learn how to describe something objectively. That's all that you should be doing, just summarize. Okay? So when you go back and revise this paper for your portfolio, if you choose to use it, make sure that you take out any response or evaluation, any of that, any opinion. We don't want any of that in there, just an objective summary. Another bad habit that I'm seeing, and it's not uncommon, I see it every quarter throughout the quarter, stop using rhetorical questions. I understand that it is a tool for engaging your reader and that you've probably been taught that it's okay. It's old. It's time to move on. Again, time to step up your game, try to improve yourself, stop relying on what you've done for years, and try something new. Try a higher standard of writing. No more rhetorical questions. It's just as bad a habit as narrating. Okay? They're not effective. No matter what you've been told, they're old. especially when you have multiple rhetorical questions in one paragraph or in your paper altogether. Really, it's old. Stop doing it. Okay, no rhetorical questions. Another problem I saw frequently was that you need to make sure that you reference the author throughout your essay as the originator of these ideas, because they're not yours. And when you don't reference him, your reader will think that all of this information is coming from you, and it's not. That's, borderline plagiarism if you want to take all of his ideas and not say that they're his. Okay? All you need to do is summarize what he says. Introduce him, introduce the article and the main point, develop those main points objectively throughout your body paragraphs, conclude again in a more broad and general sense, and that's it. Don't forget about the author. When you do that, it looks like all those ideas are yours, and they're not. And if you start incorporating ideas that aren't Peck's, that's when you're responding and evaluating. You need to cut that stuff out. You only say what Peck says. You're only focusing on what he says in his article. Okay? If that's confusing or something, you've got to let me know. Because otherwise, you simply need to be saying, Peck said, he then said. I mean, obviously, you're not going to be that, boring about it, but that's it. Everything that you write needs to be referenced to Peck somehow. Okay? And then the last thing I wanted to mention was that pretty much everybody needs to work on their transitions. I emailed you a big sheet that will help you pick out transitions and understand what transitions are and what they look like and why they're helpful, and yet nobody used transitions at all. When I give you stuff like that to help you, I do expect you to use it and to apply it. And it's such a simple, easy fix that will have a huge improvement on your writing. I don't want to say that you can simply just pick a transition and plug it in, but it's almost that easy. You need to make sure that the transition fits. That sheet I gave you has a lot of categories on the different types, so you have to make sure that it's the right type of transition that you need, whether it's between your paragraphs or between your sentences. But pretty much you can just pick. Once you know the type that you need, you can just pick one and plug it in. That's why I say it's such an easy fix for such a big result. This is what transitions help your flow. They help your organization. They can even help your focus. If you kind of skip from one thought to the next in your body paragraphs, so long as your transitions are in place, your focus is okay. It's when you don't have those transitions that your paper kind of starts to fall apart. So they're the things that keep everything hooked together, and it makes, the stepping stone. I believe I mentioned the stepping stone metaphor. It turns your stepping stones into a smooth path. Okay? So no matter how disjointed your paper is, if you use transitions effectively enough, it will no longer be disjointed. So right now you guys are just, you've all got stepping stones. Just one paragraph. They're not related. They're just blah. Paragraphs on a page. You need the transitions to make it an actual essay. Okay? Again, if you have questions about that or you didn't get my email with that sheet of transitions, let me know and I will email it to you. But again, it's very simple fix for a huge result. So, again, these are pretty much the major things that I saw. Wow, that was my cat jumping on my chair. I don't even know if you heard that, but that was funny. If you have any questions about this, let me know. I do hope to see improvement on these things for your second paper, because again, if I give you this information, I do expect you to apply it. So I want to see an improvement in not narrating. I want to see an improvement in your MLA. No more rhetorical questions, all of this. I want to see improvement. Okay, so you just let me know what I can do to help you if I haven't done something, enough. So just let me know. And good luck with paper number 2.